he also played high school and college football.
Joining us now to talk about this, the lawsuit and the controversy over CTE, attorney Anahita Sedaghatfar. She is of counsel to the Cochran firm. So the lawsuit was filed. Hello.
Hello there.
Great to see you. It was filed on behalf of this 4-year-old daughter.
Correct.
And they're saying that the NFL is essentially responsible for his death. They make that connection there.
Yes.
And you say that the NFL does have a pretty good case.
Well, no, I say that his daughter has a pretty good case. I think she's going to prevail in this case, and the NFL is going to lose, because the issue that they have to prove is, did the NFL know about the long-term dangers of repeated concussions, and did they intentionally conceal those dangers from the players? And we have now seen substantial evidence that's been put out in congressional hearings and various lawsuits filed against the NFL showing that they absolutely knew about this.
And to take it a step further, actually admitted guilt already by agreeing to pay $1 billion to retired players that suffered traumatic head injuries.
Yes, so we can imply that that makes them guilty, but in the settlement, they did not admit any guilt. So they're still kind of standing behind their position that, no, in fact, these repeated concussions do not cause long-term brain injuries. And in fact, the NFL, as has been proven in these congressional hearings, caused medical studies to be put out there, put out into the community, saying that there were no long-term brain damage effects, and that was false, and they knew it was false.
What about in his murder trial? In his defense, he never brought up CTE, and that would be in favor for the NFL's case.
Yes, and that is such a great point, because a lot of people are asking now, is this an excuse? Is the CTE diagnosis some excuse and justification for the murder for which he was convicted? But you're absolutely right. His defense attorneys did not raise CTE at the trial. Their defense was complete innocence, that he didn't even do the killing. So CTE was not even raised as a mitigating factor or any type of justification. So no, it's not a legal defense, but yes, it can be an explanation, you guys, as to why Aaron Hernandez exhibited this violent and erratic behavior, and possibly why he may have committed suicide. That's the argument that his daughter is making in this lawsuit. All
right, speaking of the NFL, of course, things took a turn this weekend. Everybody, big controversy over the players taking a knee, and President Trump tweeted out there and said to some of his supporters that he believes that some people, that these players should be fired if they don't stand during the national anthem. And then one of the NASCAR icons, Richard Petty, said that if his employees didn't stand during the national anthem, he would fire them.
Yes.
Can someone be fired for not standing up during the national anthem?
Okay, so there is no NFL rule that requires players to stand for the national anthem. We know that, that's established. But we also know that the player contracts, the collective bargaining agreements the players have with the NFL, give the NFL a ton of latitude in terms of when to fire, reprimand, or even fine players. And one of those clauses says, if any of the players act in a way that somehow damages the reputation of the league or damages the reputation of the team, they can be fired. So technically, yes, the NFL can fire these players, but will they? I don't think so. And one other thing that people are bringing up is the First Amendment. Yeah. They're saying, look, they have a First Amendment right. They can't be fired for exercising that right. That's true. Everyone has a First Amendment right in this country, but the NFL isn't the First Amendment is not implicated in this case, because the NFL is a private entity. It's a private employer, and the NFL only protects individuals from government encroaching upon your freedom of speech. So that's a little bit of a misunderstanding in terms of whether or not they have a legal First Amendment right to protest.
Mm-hmm. You know, we're, as public figures, if you're someone who's out there in the public, if we were to not stand during the national anthem, technically our employer could say, well, you don't really stand for the values of this company. We could fire you.
Exactly, and that's the argument. I know Donald Trump has put out these tweets. Now, I think the NFL has pretty much made clear, though, that they're not going to take any action against these players. We'll have to wait and see if this continues throughout the season. Will they have to implement some type of rule? Will things change? I think we'll just have to wait and see. We don't know.
All right, very good. Okay. Thank you for your input and your insight today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Anahita. Great to see you.
Great to see you.